Good afternoon, everybody. I want to show you today how you can take a really simple sandwich and class it up. I'm sure you guys have all had a grilled cheese before, but you can take a grilled cheese and make it way better with just a couple extra ingredients. And I want to start off here with just a recipe we all know. I always like to use sourdough bread with my grilled cheeses. And so what we're going to do today, we're going to make two sandwiches. We're going to make a mozzarella grilled cheese, and we're going to make a cheddar grilled cheese. The cheddar one's for me, but I'm going to put Dijon mustard on it. I know not everyone likes Dijon mustard, so I'm also going to show you another recipe that you could do for all you mustard-hating weirdos out there. So I'm going to start with the cheddar sandwich. I actually stole this recipe from Alton Brown, so props to him. And the key ingredient to this sandwich, let's see if we can get the camera to focus on it. Maybe? No? Okay, maybe not. Is Dijon mustard. Okay? So what you want to do, you want to take this mustard, oh my goodness, and you don't want to splash it all over your camera person, although you can if you want to, if you're into that. And the key here is you want to take this Dijon mustard and you want to really spread it so you get a really thin, even layer across the whole piece of bread. And as you can see here, you almost can't even tell the mustard is on the bread because it's so evenly spread into the bread. And you want to do that with both slices. And that's going to take what is normally a pretty bland sandwich and give it a lot of flavor. Let's see if we can get all that mustard on there. Delightful. So you just take the mustard, you spread it on there. Take a nice big handful of cheese. We want lots of cheese because cheese is delicious. If you don't think cheese is delicious, I want you to turn this video off, and I never want you to watch one of my videos ever again. And in addition to the cheese, if you want to see what kind of cheese I'm using, see if we can get the camera to pick it up. Maybe? No? Come on, focus. No? This is Kerrygold Dubliner cheese. It's one of my favorite cheeses. It's a cheddar. And to kick it up another notch, I'm going to put a little bit of smoked paprika on here. Just a dash. And that's going to make it extra delicious. So we'll put that there. And then for our other sandwich, we're going to make a mozzarella. So when you take your mozzarella, I have these, this is called mozzarella clingine. Clingine, if you want to be a little more Italian. And it comes in these little balls. See if I can get the camera to recognize them. And they're very wet. So I'm going to take a few of them, and I'm just going to dry them off a little bit. Just take a paper towel, dry them off. You don't want all that moisture in your sandwich. It'll get really soggy. And then I'm going to kind of do the same thing I did with the mustard. But instead, this time, I'm going to use pesto. Okay? So if you don't know what pesto is, it's just basil pine nuts, which grow on pine trees, and olive oil mixed together. So you just take those, you make a nice even coating. Notice we got the whole piece of bread coated, okay? This is where all your flavor is going to come from, so you got to make sure you get every little nook and cranny. Let's see if we can get it. Wow, that was some strong smelling pesto. That's going to be delicious. And so what I do is I just take these little, balls, you kind of just crinkle them up with your hands, and get them all over your sandwich. Let's see if we can get this. Takes a second to break up all this mozzarella. Breaking up mozzarella with your fingers has got to be one of the weirdest feelings in the world. This is some strange texture. Cool. Now that you got plenty of cheese on there, you want, just a kind of a pro tip, you want more cheese in the middle than on the outside, because as the cheese melts, it's going to go outwards, and you want your cheese to melt out to the edges of your sandwich. You don't want the cheese to leak out of your sandwich. So all you got to do now, I'm going to eat this little piece of mozzarella. No, I'll eat it later, so it's not. Yeah, you can eat one of those, camera person. What you want to do, you want to take some room temperature butter here. Keyword room temperature butter. Cold butter does not spread. And you just want to nice and evenly coat the outside of both sides of your sandwich. Delicious, buttery goodness. And you want to use plenty of butter because butter is super delicious. If you don't put enough delicious butter on your sandwich won't be nearly delicious enough. And then nobody will want to eat it. And we're going to do the same thing to our other sandwich. And then we'll go ahead and take these over to our stove. Okay. So, camera person, if you could go take the camera over to the stove and get a good angle on the. You could just take. We'll cut it here. Okay. So we're back at our stove over here. What's really important with grilled cheese is medium heat. Okay, if you get it too hot, you're gonna burn the hell out of your sandwich, and that's disgusting. If it's not hot enough, you won't get a nice crispy crust, and then your sandwich will get all soggy, and nobody likes a soggy sandwich. Okay, so you can see, I don't know if you can see. Can we get in a little closer on the flame there, camera person? We can see we got full size flame. We got low flame, full size flame. We want somewhere right in the middle. Once you get the flame to just the right heat, okay, nice and good in the middle, I like to put a generous coating of cooking spray on the pan. Nice and generous. Put some Pam on there. And then you gotta wait for your pan to heat up, which is possibly the most boring thing to do on planet Earth. So you just kind of like sit here and you twiddle your thumbs and maybe you talk to the people around you, but you're probably like me and you don't have any friends, so you don't talk to the people around you. I mean, because you're practicing social distancing, not because you don't have any friends. You just kind of stand here. Oh, you could go get your sandwiches. Okay. And of course, you wouldn't put your sandwiches right on the stove because that would be like grossly irresponsible because they could catch on fire. But once your pan is nice and hot, it should take about 30 seconds. If you hold your hand about 2 inches above the pan, 2 inches above the pan, not on the pan. Don't put your hand on the pan. Which should go without saying, but it won't. It should feel very warm, but you should be able to keep your hand there, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to put those down, and that is the perfect sound, that beautiful little sizzle. We're going to put these down right here. And once again, we play the waiting game. You want to wait for about 2 minutes. And since we're lazy and you don't want to watch me stare at these sandwiches for like 2 minutes straight, we're going to cut to the flip. So when these sandwiches are good and ready, you're going to give them a flip. Okay, now the key to not losing grated cheese here is confidence. Okay, which I may or may not have. All right, if you wuss out halfway through and you mess up, your cheese is going to fall all over the place. So you just got to, boom, flip it, okay? And you'll notice that we have a slight golden brown color at the top, all right? But it's not dark brown. We're going to come back and get that nice dark brown color at the end, okay? Right now, we're just kind of trying to get that cheese to cook through. Don't reach into the pan and take stuff out with your fingers. That was obviously irresponsible. And you just wait another 2 minutes for the other side to get nice and perfectly golden brown. So we're ready to flip again. Okay, so here we are. We're going to give it a nice flip. Remember, a flip with confidence. Boom, you should have a nice golden brown color here. You should have a nice golden brown color here. And we're going to let it cook for another minute on this side. Okay, it's important we keep flipping it back and forth because if it gets too hot on one side, it's going to burn, and a burnt grilled cheese should be one of the cardinal sins, in my humble opinion. So we're going to let it cook for another minute. We'll let it get nice and deep brown on this side, and then we'll flip it over again, and we'll cook it for another minute on that side, on the other side. And then we'll cut to final flip. Yeah, the final flip. No, we won't cut to the final flip. We're just going to cut to when the sandwiches are nice and finished. Okay? So I'll see you there in a second. Hey guys, I forgot to mention, if you flip it back and forth a couple times, and you kind of pick open the top, and you notice the cheese isn't quite as melty as you might want, just keep flipping it back and forth. Take your time, low and slow is the name of this game. Okay, so flip it, just keep flipping it back and forth until the cheese is as melty and delicious as you want. Okay, cool. So you notice we got our two sandwiches here. They're nice and golden brown on both sides. You can see we got some beautiful color. And if you go to slice them in half, sorry for moving the camera like a crazy person. My camera person decided to go sit on the couch. If you take these and cut them in half, and this is not how you should cut a sandwich in half, in case you're a total professional, but if you just take it, whoa, yep, not how you, thank you camera person for coming back. If you take your sandwich and you cut it in half nice and responsibly, and you pull it apart, you might notice you don't get that pulley kind of stringy thing you normally expect with the grilled cheese, and that's because we're using real cheese here, and not American processed garbage. Okay, so if you open it up and you notice your cheese is in like one nice kind of layer here, that is what you're looking for, okay? This nice, evenly melted layer of cheese here. That is going to be beautiful and delicious. I hope you learned something, as always. May the force be with you.